I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School. All right, so it's clear that nature had no idea what to do with testicles. I mean, they're always hanging out, flopping this way and that, or even worse, sticking to your leg. That's why Tommy John created the Hammock Pouch. See, when you're wearing Tommy John's Hammock Pouch underwear, you're just that much more comfortable. So you can do everything better. By the way, I'm not even kidding here. I actually wear Tommy John's and love them. I'm serious. I would not be saying this right now unless I actually had a pair of Tommy John's on right now. I'm tempted to actually pull my pants down, but I probably won't do that. Maybe I will next time. But once you wear them like me, you're never going back. They've sold 13 million pairs of these. All right, so there's 13 million pairs of old balls, mine are young, by the way, that love Tommy John underwear because everything stays in place. No more flopping, sticking, chafing, whole 9 yards, right? Tommy John underwear has a non-rolling waistband for perfect fit. The legs never ride up. I'm telling you, this is all true. I'm not just saying this, all right? I wear them. I hate wearing underwear that has that weird, like in a freaking diaper, right? And with Tommy John, you've got the best pair you'll ever have in your life. And that's guaranteed, or they'll give it to you free. So right now, you get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/school. That's 20% off your first order of underwear and loungewear at TommyJohn.com/school. That's TommyJohn.com/school. See the site for details. Promise you're going to love these. Look at this beautiful picture. This picture has a story. There's always a story behind a picture, right? It tells 1,000 words. Well, here's a story. So I actually was going to do this training for you guys today, which is a really important one on sales funnels. Not marketing funnels, sales funnels. See, marketing funnels is an entirely different thing. When we hear the word funnel nowadays, it's gotten so, online-atized. Is that a word? All right. But it's all become out, funnels. And people think, oh, I'll build your funnel for this. Drives you crazy. Everything that funnels. But that's marketing funnels, meaning how you essentially have an online funnel that has page views, and they read the headline, there's a video, there's a freaking click on this button. They can either be buying something or getting a lead. That's an online sales funnel. I'm not talking about that. Remember, you have marketing on one side of the equation and sales on the other. Marketing is the process by which you identify who your best buyers are, either locally or geographically, meaning country around the world, and then you take those buyers and bring them into your sales funnel in a cost-effective manner. Meaning it's not going to work very well for you as a business owner or a salesman who's trying to bring in leads if it costs you, let's say, $1,000 a day to advertise, and the revenue you generate off of those incoming leads is $500. You're going to lose half your money every day. Now, that being said, there are businesses around the world who do this all day long and make a ton of money by spending $1,000 or $10,000 a day in advertising, and the opening sale makes them only $500. How? Very simply, life of the customer. So while they only might make $500 in the opening transaction and lose half their money, if they have a great product and it leads to future business, then they can make $10,000 over the first year, or $20,000 or $100,000 over the life of the customer. So it's a great exchange. But remember, cash flow wise, you got to be very, very careful that your marketing activities are at least somewhat offset by short-term income, or else you could have all the long-term profits in the world, but you're broke. You're constantly broke because you have negative cash flow. For big companies, you can finance it with money raised on Wall Street, but for the average person here, which you are, success-oriented person who wants to get rich, remember, you got to be very cognizant that marketing is not just about bringing leads in, it's bringing leads in a cost-effective manner. End of discussion, because this is not a marketing discussion today. I will cover marketing funnels, because I'm an expert at it. I got one of the top performing funnels in the world right now, so I know everything about it. I'm going to give you a great training. This is not about that. This is about just for today, a daily motivation, an understanding of what you should be doing as a salesperson, how you're supposed to organize your day, and how you can use a very simple technique, the sales funnel, to spot out where your problems might be. If you're having a dry spell, what's causing that dry spell? And also, how do you essentially motivate yourself or work backwards, meaning say, hey, I want to make X number of dollars a year. How do I ensure that outcome? Well, one of the easiest ways to ensure that outcome is by the use of a sales funnel and working backwards. Let me explain. So watch, this is your typical sales funnel here, sales funnel, not marketing funnel, right? And the funnel obviously has a cone shape, right? It goes from the wide end to the narrow end. And what that represents is the obvious situation, the reality that when you call people, now remember, let me stop. I'm gonna use dials, okay? So you imagine you're on the phone, you're dialing the phone. But just as easily as dials, there's no difference. It could be door knocks. It could be people walking into your retail store. It doesn't matter. It's how many people enter into your sphere of influence that you could possibly have a chance to pitch. Okay, now, for instance, let's stick with dials, and I'll go back and forth just to show you the equivalences, right? So imagine if you're sitting behind this, you're a telemarketer, and you're a salesman, you're looking to dial the phone to eventually close sales. Now, I'm gonna use a very round number here of 100 dials per day. Some of you might think that's a lot. For those of you who are really in the business of using the phone to make sales, it's not a lot at all. That number could be 200 to 300 a day easily. But we'll use 100 because it's a round number, right? Now, when you make 100 dials, you're not gonna speak to, let's assume you're calling businesses, right? Of those dials, you might only actually speak to 50 people, right? Because there's answering machines, there's wrong numbers, phones will ring off this, and no one will answer. Okay, so you're gonna find that every dial does not result in a connection. Okay, same thing goes with knocking on homes. You might knock on a door and no one answers, right? So it's not just because you knock does not mean that you actually get someone in front of you, right? So we have doors, dials, whatever it may be, or people might walk in your store. That doesn't mean they might not actually look around and bounce and walk right back out of your store before you ever have a chance to even talk to them. You get it? So while that's the case, while you can consider people walking in to be that top line of the funnel, remember that next step is how many people, how many live human beings do you speak to? How many live human beings do you speak to? From there, we then go down to the next level, which would be decision makers. How many decision makers do you speak to? Because remember, you might want somebody to shut my phone off, guys, here. Yeah, grab that? Thanks, just shut it off, okay? I'll find myself $10, right? Anyway, how many decision makers you speak to? Now, you get 50 connections at a corporation, right? You might get screened out 40% or 50% at a time. You might only speak to 25 decision makers. The numbers go down again. You might knock on 100 doors, 50 people answer, 25 are maids or kids under the age of 18 that can't make it. It's not the home, it's not the decision maker. So you don't actually get to those decision makers, so the number drops again. Then of those 25 decision makers, maybe you have a 40% success rate of taking them and saying, yes, I'm interested, I like what you have to say, I'm interested in speaking to you again. Assuming this is, let's say, a two-call system, meaning where you might knock on their door and they like what you see and you leave information and you set up a return phone call or a return visit to the home. It could be you are on a phone where you speak to a business owner or a homeowner and they say, yep, let's set up another call next week to send me the information, I'll close you then. Or you could actually do a hybrid where you call a business owner or a homeowner on the phone and then they say, yeah, great, I'll come to your house next week. And the next appointment will be in person or on the phone, it doesn't matter. So it's all the same, okay? So watch. So you have 25, that would now come, if only 40% are people you speak to, okay? Decision makers, only 40% actually become leads. That becomes 10. So you have 10 actual leads per day, okay? Then what happens is, here's the problem. Whether it's in person or over the phone, if you have 10 leads and you go, let's say you're doing a straight on the phone, you got a lead on the phone, now you got to call them back on the phone, right? Guess what? You're not going to get in touch with everybody twice. It sucks. It's a reality. You just can't get someone on the phone a second time, no matter how hard you try. There's many ways to increase that number, but you're not going to get in touch with everyone. So let's say at the end of the day, the reality is that if you write up 10 people you're only getting 5 of them on the phone, or when you go to the home, they're not there, they don't answer the door, it doesn't work out. So you actually have 5 appointments, individual pitch will be for pitch. You actually make a sales presentation. And of those 5, let's say your closing rate is 40%. 40% buy, that means that you are closing 2 sales per day. That's your average daily closing rate. 2 sales per day, okay? So let's say your goal, you want to make, let's say in the average sale yields you $500 in commission. That's your sales funnel. That's an example of what a sales funnel is.